colleagues, I rise today as co-chair of the California Legislative Jewish Caucus in strong support of SCR 95, and I want to thank my colleague from Gardena and my colleague from Los Angeles for moving this resolution forward. Dr. King fought division and oppression. He taught us to value the preciousness of life and to treat all people with dignity. He was viewed as a radical for believing in justice, and in the end, he was murdered for it. His assassination was one in a string of bloody events that sought to quash a righteous movement. Those murders were of many black people, but others as well, including Jews who stood for racial equality. In the movement that Dr. King led, Jewish thinkers and activists found allies and champions. The Jewish community continues to proudly teach the lesson of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, a rabbi whose understanding of Jewish values and traditions led him to the civil rights movement and who marched with Dr. King from Selma to Montgomery. Similarly, we remember that Dr. King held a place for Jews in his movement. He refused to ignore the plight and suffering of other people or anyone. He frequently spoke of the need to stand by the Jewish community, who he considered as siblings to the black community. Dr. King, a Christian reverend, cited Jewish philosophers like Martin Buber to explain the immorality of segregation and referenced the persecution of Jews, seeing our communities as partners in the fight against hate. As cynical actors today seek to create divisions amongst communities that have long been allies, we must not forget the lessons of Dr. King, that our greatest strength lies in our unity. Today's rise in bigoted, hateful rhetoric and violence show that we are still far from the liberation that Dr. King imagined, and he would be, I am confident, alarmed by our rising racial and economic inequality, and by the fact that in 2023, we still see so much, not just hate, but people who think that it is okay and that they can get away with just brazen, open denigration and attacks on different communities. We lost Dr. King when he was only 39 years old, and yet he left us with so many lessons and so much work that we need to do still to continue his righteous mission. May Dr. King's memory be a blessing, and may we all continue his work. I urge and I vote.